This world shall know pain. Almighty push.
Yo guys, it's your homie XenoPain. I'd like to welcome y'all to another Black Desert Online video for the Xbox One. And in today's video, we're going to be going over a tier list. And this tier list is not going to be like your average tier list of what class is better than who. This tier list is going to consist of what classes are easy to use for both PvP and PvE situations, and going down the tier list of what classes are more difficult, what classes you have to put more time in to learn the ins and outs to utilize and optimize them in PvP and PvE situations. As a lot of people have been asking for a tier list for the Xbox One, this will be the guide for you. A little disclaimer too, this is all my opinion, so I would love to know if you guys agree or disagree and why, and down in that comment section. Also, I am on pain meds, hence the reason why I am making this video. So if I say anything dumb, I blame that. So we're going to go ahead and bounce into this tier list. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start off with the striker. If you guys want to pound faces from the get-go, you guys are going to want to pick the striker, and the reason why is because it is fast and efficient at PvE clearing. It does have built-in magic resistance, and this built-in magic resistance makes the striker naturally tanky towards other magic users classes that Black Desert has to offer. So that's another reason why to pick the striker. And like I said, they are easy to pick up and learn, while their cons are very minimal to only being focused during guild versus guild situations because of the sheer amount of DPS that they can exert to their foes. Also, along with their grab that can be utilized for allies to take advantage of the grab that the striker does have. But they do also struggle against dedicated dueling classes such as the ninja, kunoichi, and other classes like that. So this is why the striker is up there on the S tier. So if you guys want to start the game from the get-go and, like I said, start smashing faces, the striker class will be right up your alley. Next up, we do have the Musa. The Musa is also going to be in the S tier for best all-around PvP and PvE, especially after it got its awakening. It's so good to be using this class and to pick it from the get-go and start smashing faces because it does have a wide attack range and high damage for PvE. It is also a viable class for large-scale and small-scale PvP. And it is also capable of wiping out groups of weaker players in guild versus guild situations, because once you guys get that awakening, you guys can literally flail your awakening everywhere and anywhere and destroy anything and everything, and they're very adaptable to most situations. Next up, we're going to go ahead and jump into this A tier, and the A tier class is going to consist of the warrior. And although the warrior does have balanced survivability and power throughout the game, it is consistent in PvP and PvE and easy to learn and gear. It does come into real power late game. Now, if you guys ever picked a warrior in the beginning of the game, you guys are going to have a tough time leveling it up because it is very slow. So that's the reason why it is in the A tier, because of how slow it is in the beginning early game. Now, once you guys get to mid to late game, start getting geared up, getting your skills, and then into awakening, it does shine. And by no means is the warrior a trash class. It is a very good class. I've gotten my ass whooped by the warrior plenty of times, although if you are a dedicated class with high gear score that focuses mainly in PvP, such as the kunoichi, ninja, or the all-around characters Musa or striker, and you're well geared, you can overcome a warrior. Also, if multiple people are attacking a warrior, it can be overwhelmed unless you're just completely trash at PvP. But that is one of the weaknesses the warriors do have. So pick the warrior if you guys want a tanky yet good dealing damage character for Black Desert Online. Also in the A tier class bracket, we do have the Berserker. As the Berserker does have top tier crowd control and grabs, it does have mass sustain and immense health pool with its ult and secondary. It does have high mobility and versatile damage for both PvP and PvE situations. The reason why it is an A tier though is because it takes relatively high skill to utilize the grabs and get the combos down as to what to use after said grabs in a combo during PvP duels. So you guys do have to have somewhat of a knowledge base for the Berserker. Practice makes perfect in order to utilize their combos to the best of your abilities. And they also are very limited in ranged options. So if you are a Berserker and you're going up against a really good long range character such as the Ranger, Witch, or Wizard, and if you utilize your teleport and or dashes and evades correctly, you can overcome a Berserker pretty much almost every single time unless you make a mistake. They also struggle to outclear most classes such as the Witch, Wizard, Dark Knight, Ranger, Sorceress when it comes to PvE activities. But the Berserker is right up the alley for anybody who's interested in PvP situations, learning a character and just grabbing and smashing faces into the floor. It is a very fun all-around class to use. So if you guys want to, don't skip out on this class. We're also going to smack the Shy here in the A tier as well because it is an easy to use class with little to no difficulty at all. She does have a mass amount of buffs and heals that are better utilized than the Witch and our Wizard. And once she gets her awakening, which we don't know how well it's going to be, I think it's like a lute, a flute, and then like a banjo type thing from the footage that we got from the Korean servers. She may be in S tier. We don't quite know quite yet, but I'm going to go ahead and smack her in the A tier because, like I said, she needs little to no skill at all to use, and she may be a necessity to use in guild versus guild because of the heals and buffs. And of course, the professional gathering is pretty much up there as well, especially for the lazy people who don't want to work on their life skilling. Now to start off this B tier, we're going to go ahead and put the Wizard and the Witch up there. And the reason why these two are up there is because although they are extremely good in PvE type content and PvP type content, they do have all the heals and buffs for their allies. So they're also good in guild versus guild content. They do require a high skill level to utilize and perfect. You do have to practice with these two characters as to adapt and predict when people are going in on you and what skills to use. So you do have to have some knowledge of the Witch and Wizard. You do have to practice a F-ton compared to other classes that are on this tier list so far. And because they have a high skill floor, that is the reason why they are in the B tier. Next up, we do have my favorite class of the game, the Dark Knight. Now, she is my bread and butter. I love this class so much. If I had the choice, I would go ahead and smack her in the S tier. But this is an unbiased tier list, so she's going to stick in the B tier. And the reason why is because she does have a high skill floor. Because once you guys unlock her awakening, you do have to utilize the switching between her awakening and pre-awakening a lot to utilize her to the utmost perfection in PvP type content. And you need to predict a lot with her, as she does not excel strongly at any one thing. She doesn't excel at PvE. She doesn't excel at PvP. She's literally just there. She's good all around. She's like the freelancer class in Final Fantasy. She's just good at everything. She could sustain pretty well with her LB and LT. She can do long range attacks with her awakening. She can stun. She can cause stiffness. She's just a really good, well-rounded character with the high skill floor with utilizing your awakening and pre-awakening skill set and switching in between those. So the reason why she's in B tier is because she does have a decently sized skill floor and she's not good at any one thing. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the C tier. I want to reassure everybody that these classes are not being put on this tier list from who's worser than the other. It's how difficult they are and how difficult they're getting. So just to reassure people, S, easiest to use, A, kind of hard, B, getting harder, C, getting slightly more difficult, and D, being heavy, combo oriented type S classes that you need to master in order to utilize perfectly in PvP. So with the C tier, we're going to go ahead and begin with the Sorceress. Now, this character slash class is devastating in the right hands. If you guys take the time to learn this character, which has a very, very high skill floor and does take patience, she does not get her most damage dealing skills until way late game. As you guys level her, she has high magic damage. She's potent at PvE clearing ability, and what I mean by potent is if you have a Tri-Tomb along with a couple crystals that give you AP +5, you guys can go ahead and go into Augment. You guys are kind of glass cannony, so when you guys go into Augment, if you guys have low DP, just as long as you're using her evades correctly, you'll be able to still kill Augment and avoid being one-shot by Augment. Now, that's what I'm talking about. This character is destructive. It's a very good class, but has a very high skill floor and doesn't bloom until late game. Now, if she's going up against a Kunoichi and or Ninja, she will get devastated on, but that's if you're going up against a Kunoichi and a Ninja that are really good at the game. As Kunoichi's not in the game yet, it would have to be a Ninja. So it'd have to be someone who basically mains Ninja to the T and has practiced over and over again in PvP type PvE type content and just goes cray-cray. But the Sorceress is devastating, a really good class, and they also get a scythe in Awakening. So if you guys are looking for a class that utilizes a scythe as their primary Awakening weapon, then Sorceress is going to be the class for you. Now that we covered the Sorceress, which is in the C tier, we do have the Ranger, who is also in the C tier. And the reason for is because this class also has a high skill floor, including her Awakening weapon, which is a dagger. I know it's kind of weird, it's kind of strange, but if you guys can utilize the ins and outs of long range in between close quarters combat with the Ranger, you guys could be devastating as well, especially with long range knockdowns, long range stiffness. This class is an amazing powerhouse. It has good utilization of kiting mobs and players, and just a good all-around character slash class, especially at high levels, to avoid dealing mobs from PvE type content. Now, this class does take time to master, like I said, because of the Awakening. It does give you a dagger, so from levels 1 through 55 you are literally long range, and then after 56 you get a close quarters type esque Awakening weapon. So then you would have to utilize the ins and outs of both her pre-awakened and her awakened state, but most rangers casual just utilize her bow, but a good ranger will utilize both. Alright guys, now that we have covered the C tier, we're going to go ahead and jump into the D tier, and we have Ninja. And the reason why we have Ninja in the D tier is because they are destroyers in 1v1 PvP, as that is their main focus. Other classes can do PvE a lot better than the Ninja can. The Ninja does have a higher skill floor than most of the characters that Black Desert Online has to offer because of how combo oriented they are. They lack in range and they lack in CC. So if a Ranger or a Sorceress or any other class gets them in a CC, and if they outgear a Ninja, they're more than likely going to win. But if a Ninja is geared well and gets you in a combo, you're more than likely dead. They have titanic dueling power. They're overwhelming when not CC'd, and they can also go invisible because, hey, they're a ninja who doesn't like going invisible. But their cons are atrocious. They melt like butter against AoE spells. So if they're going up against a wizard, a witch, a sorcerer doing an AoE, a warrior doing an AoE, a Musa, a striker, they're just going to die. And their PvE power is lacking compared to other classes, especially if you're going up against a long range character. Like I said, you're just going to get destroyed. But once a ninja gets their hands on you, as they are close quarters, you will be devastated to the floor, nothing to do, dead. And then you guys have to resurrect at the closest node and or city. Now, last but not least, we do have the long class. The long class is the most unique class out of all the classes in Black Desert because she can glide. And that's pretty much why she's in D tier. She's good in PvE. She's okay in PvE. If you're fighting a well gear scored opponent, you're more than likely going to lose. But all around, Lawn is just a fun character with the uniqueness of being able to glide. Hence why the Lawn is in the D tier. Other classes just shine more better than her in all around combat, PvE, PvP, and guild versus guild. Well, guys, if you guys found this video informative, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you guys want more Black Desert Online content for the Xbox One, don't forget to subscribe, especially if you're new here. Other than that, your homie Xenopain out. Peace.